Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sons and Daughters of Liberty. Tonight I'll be introducing a new video series I will be doing. What it means to be a man. I think it is an important issue that us men need to start talking about. It seems for years now, our young men have been demasculinized and taught it's okay. I'm here to tell you it's not okay. It's time we start talking about this and re-educating our young men and young boys. Being a man and a provider, just not to their families, but to their communities as well. You know, when I see pictures of a Hollywood actor taking his child to Comic-Con, this young boy, and it's being splattered all over the place, saying how pretty the boy looked because he dressed as Harley Quinn. That's just disrespectful. That's teaching your boy to be a sissy. It's demasculizing your child. A young boy should be taught the values of being a man. You know, all I know is how I grew up. I grew up outside working. I was taught how to work on cars, how to work on engines, motors, how to weed, garden, cut logs. I was taught how to be productive, important work habits, work ethics. I was taught that, we hunt for a reason. We don't hunt just for sport. We hunt to put food on the table. If we bag an extra deer that we're not going to use, we give it to our neighbors, giving back to the community. That's, as men, what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be the providers, just not for our families, but for our community. I know throughout these last few generations, it's been the ideology that us men are sexist. Well, last thing I've ever been called by any real woman is a sexist. Not even my exes would ever call me sexist. They would flat out tell you, yes, I am very much an alpha man. I'm not no beta. But yet, we're teaching our young boys and our young teenagers, it's okay to be betas. It's okay to explore your sexuality. We shouldn't even be teaching anybody under 18 those things. In fact, I have a very big problem. It seems to be a common trend here of late in certain states and cities, allowing transvestites to come into their schools and teach and do story time. Or as me and somebody on Twitter was talking about how the alt-right was teaching the women were getting their advice how to be journalists and media of the alt-right from a transvestite or transgender male who needs to be a woman. Since when does that a man ever can even begin to experience what a woman experiences? In fact, I tell you, it can't. There's a reason why us all great men in this world has always had a great woman by their side. It's because a woman's intuition, because she's our rock, she's our confidant. She's the one that tells us when we're doing something stupid. So before anybody goes off a tangent that I'm going to be degrading women on here, no, in fact, I would welcome women to even come on here and express what they look for in a man, the qualities of a man they seek. Because it's important that us as men are also responsible enough. Women in our life, women are around us. There's a reason why they've pushed this transgender thing, this beta thing. If you start pushing these values, these ideologies, it's going to slow populations down. It's going to, it's truthfully, it's another form of birth control. It's a way to control the population. You know, but yes, I agree with a lot of people out there. You know, I haven't voiced it before, not publicly, and only in close friends we set by the fire, drink a few beers and whatnot. We discuss these things, what we see. Of course, you know, we're older, and we're disappointed, but yet we don't take it past the campfire or dinner table talks. You know, because in the past, when men have stood up and talked about these things, they get bashed, they get called sexist. They say we don't value women, that we're trying to oppress. No, you better pay attention to what this channel's about. First off and foremost, it's called Sons and Daughters of Liberty for a reason. Even I recognize the role women have played throughout history. And that's the problem. These strong women out there are struggling to find the strong men. You know, if you would have asked me 5 years ago if I would ever believe that, what I just said, I'd say no. I've been quickly corrected. You know, pays to have some good women in your life. Pays to be an open person that's willing to listen to everybody. To actually see, wow, you know, it's like, where was it all you guys at back then? But sometimes we, you know, us men are stubborn too. Sometimes we want to hear those things. we've gotten away from a lot of core values. Just like I watched today in the tweets and stuff, how Trump got bashed for attending a Boy Scouts jamboree. I find that insulting that you're even trying to make an issue out of that. We need more of our boys in doing things like that. It teaches them how to be men. It teaches them the important skills that can help provide for them, provide in the family, provide in the community. It teaches them work skills, how to work together, how to build strong character. You know, I'm lucky. I grew up in the 90s. You know, I was in the 4-H. I started in Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, Eagle Scouts, 4-H. You know, I had good men for role models in my life. My grandfather, even my dad, who I did not get along with. But if it wasn't for those men in my life and my uncles teaching me how to be a man, I wouldn't be the person I am today. Just like I wouldn't be the person I am today if it wasn't for some wonderful women in my life that helped keep me on the right track, on the right road. You know, in a sense, I owe a lot of thanks to someone named Nicole. Best friend I've ever had. Somebody taught me how to be a better man. Yes, a woman taught me how to be a better man. Not a sissy, not a beta. How to be a respectful alpha male. You know, I was brought up outdoors in the garage. But yet, if I so choose, I can work as a chef at any top restaurant. Because I've realized those are some skills that I was going to need in life. How to cook. Because I enjoy cooking. Cooking is my meditation. I enjoy cooking as much as I do enjoy getting up under the hood of a car and working on the engine. You know what makes a good man? A good man is somebody that's going to stand his ground, that realizes he is an alpha, that realizes if need be, he can be a leader to the community, or the backbone, a pillar to that community. He's not somebody that's going to lay down in the threat of danger. He's somebody that's going to stand up and need be sacrifice himself or put blood, sweat, and tears into something to strengthen that community and strengthen his family. These are all skills that we should be teaching our kids, our boys. We should be teaching them how to hunt, how to fish, how to provide, how to work on engines. You know, we shouldn't be spending them. Don't get me wrong, mechanics got to have a job, but a lot of your simple maintenance on your cars you should be doing yourself, not taking it to a mechanic. Just think of the money you save. Think of the self-satisfaction you get knowing that that car is running because of your hard work, because you take care of it. Yes, sometimes we treat our cars better than we treat our women sometimes. That's a joke, guys. I do have a dry sense of humor sometimes. That is the misconception. Sometimes we do. It seems that we treat our cars better than our women. No, really. Because we know the value of the car as much as we know the value of our women. we need to open people's eyes that this little transgender, this sexist, everything's sexist or everything's whatever is or ism you want to put behind it, we're done with it. You know, I might say some things that offend you, that upset you. And if I'm in the wrong, I will. So I'm man enough to be able to apologize when I am in the wrong, or when something's pointed out to where it leads to me to realize, well, maybe I should have said that. That's also being a man. You know, I realize technology has grown. It's less hard labor. You know, a lot of males want to be businessmen, lawyers, doctors. You still be manly being those things. You know, I want to be IT graphics designers. Nothing wrong with that. I do those myself. But without that work ethic that you learn as a teenage boy, from being out there working in the garage, working on things, building things, you learn not to value that. And you think it's cool. I need to have a man. I need my hands need to be soft. No, a lot of women I know wouldn't even date a man if you had soft hands. Why? Because it means you're lazy. It means you haven't worked a hard day in your life. A couple years ago, when I was living in North Carolina, I got to experience the younger generation by being back in, as a cook, working in restaurants, cooking in restaurants as a chef, a prep cook, meat cutter. I got to see the young generation, and it was like, it was a learning experience, a big one. You know, I remember back in the days when I did do those things, and when I was on construction sites, welding sites, or in a factory. You know, I still seen the boys, young teenagers coming up there. They had work ethic, they had values, they were men. And there was no way in hell they were going to stay at a deadbeat job like that. They were going to become something. You know, some were athletes. You know, even I was an athlete. You know, I was never the big bulky guy. I was, a 6'1", 150-pound dude. Because I just had such a high metabolism rate, I just couldn't bulk no matter how much I tried. But I could cut, and I was happy with the way I looked. And we get caught up in that conundrum too. That looks are everything. You know, we have to be big, bulky, masculine. Well, that's masculine for sure. But it's not attractive to everyone. It just means, oh, I just pound a bunch of weights all day long. I've seen some of the biggest bodybuilders couldn't turn a wrench on a car. 16 socket was. But they were great. You needed something lifted. They were great for intimidation factor. You know, we live in a culture where looks, appearances is everything. Most people look at me first look, I'm not cleaned up, dressed up. First thing they'll think of, oh no, especially now that I'm bald. Paul is biker. Don't get me wrong, I love my bikes, but I haven't ridden in years. I'm not a biker. Mainly because I quit riding after I dumped a bike. And haven't been back on one since. So we're always judging other males by how they look. I tell you what, I've met some lawyers that you would have seen them in public on a beach somewhere. You would have never guessed that their occupation was a lawyer. Fully sleeved out with tattoos. Can't judge a book by its cover. But we live in a day and age where that's been the norm. We want to judge people by the way they look, so we teach our kids that our kids see us reflect on those things. We sometimes, as males, we forget we're role models too. And for me, that's kind of a touchy subject because I'm not a good role model for anyone. Unless you want a role model that you just don't do what he does because usually it's probably a bad thing, which is the way most of my younger life was. I was the perfect role model for the things you don't do. And I paid for those choices. You know, I'm not a person that has regrets. But when I look back at things, I look back, man, I wish I would have been a little bit better, made the different choices. Because I didn't realize how other people looked up to me. I didn't realize how my brother modeled himself after me. Thankfully, he didn't go down the same path that Rose and I went. We don't realize a lot of that stuff until we're older. And, I know it's hard these days, guys, especially for us men and women out there. Now, like, family household, both parents are working. That's another problem with this society today. It takes two people working to barely scrape by. It used to be the man was the provider, and the woman, she chose to work. She worked. You know, I have no problem with it. She wants to work. That's extra money we have to spend somewhere else. Because now, this day and age, that's not the case. Now it's a need. Well, what happens when you take both parents out of the equation? Your social media becomes the education and role model for your children. So when we start seeing all this transgender crap all over the place, oh, I'm a kid. I'm a cat. Oh, I want to be Harley Quinn. You fucking sissy. And no, I'm going to apologize for the F word. We shouldn't be allowing those things. We should be teaching them, hey, you don't need to be on that. Let's go out, play catch, throw the ball around. Let's talk. What do you want to be in life? Teach them values. Teach them how to budget, how to make choices. Because the truth is, when they turn 18, we don't have any more say over their lives anyway. So if we don't instill these values, teach them that they need to be alphas instead of betas while they're young, they're gonna just follow what they're being programmed on TV. Hollywood has been bad at teaching kids it's okay to be this, it's okay to be that. No, you need to be a man, you know. And that's why they got on, start cracking down people say, well, Call of Duty is bad, violent. Well, it teaches leadership skills, it teaches communication if they're online, playing it. It teaches them it's good to be masculine. I mean, no, it shouldn't be on it 24/7. There's other lessons in life that needs to be learned. And now it comes down to the fact, who's teaching our kids? Is it that transvestite in the school during story time? Which I am not okay with. I mean, I respect, you're an adult. I respect your choices and your beliefs. You're entitled to that under the Constitution, and I will respect that. In fact, I will defend those rights. But I will draw the line on it when you start pushing those values and ideas onto our kids. What you do in your private homes or what you do out in clubs and publics with other adults, that's cool. Because you're with adults. How you choose to raise your kids that way, that's your choice. I can actually respect that more than that idiot teaching the kids it's okay to be a man and dress as a woman who don't know any better. So guys, I'm not your typical person. And I bump heads a lot with a lot of people because of that. You know, just like being a man, what does it mean? Does it mean having a bunch of tattoos? No, it don't. You know, some people find tattoos on your skin probably quite offensive. No, I don't. That's me. I actually kind of like it. The issues are core values. The issues being an alpha and also knowing how to respect a woman, treat a woman with respect. Treat her as your equal because she is. She's your confidant. She, as you grow and get into relationships, you'll come to find that out. You'll find that she becomes your rock. She's your support. She's somebody that's going to talk you out of doing some stupid things. At the same token, you're going to learn to listen, communicate. You know, they push the spaded thing. There's a reason why the divorce rate's up so high. There's a reason why certain diversity populations are decreasing. You know, one, it's been taught that getting your education, setting yourself up, establishing yourself before you end up having kids, which I'm 50-50 on. My last relationship, I was with somebody that was career oriented. We had a lot of growth, but she also took time out to have establish her kids and put things first. I respected that part of her. Then she went back to work on her career, to finish her career. Those are the choices that you have to be able to make. And you also have to understand, as being a man, you have to be able to support those decisions as well. You might have to be the homebody for a little bit instead of the worker. Or you might have to do both. Work, provide, while your wife or girlfriend is working on her career. But they taught this young generation that your career needs to come first. You need to be established. So people are starting to not get married until later in the year. So they're just so career focused that by the time they get married, it's too late to even think about having kids. Or they're so focused on kids that they don't, or so focused on work they don't even want to have kids. There's so many issues that's been going on for years now. There's a reason why we see the fall off in society, why we see more beta males than alpha males. in the end, we're going to have to start finding ways. Sometimes, like I said earlier in the Periscope video I did earlier, we need to start doing more community things, family things, getting together with neighbors. We need to have more things out there showing that men are role models, that we're alphas, that we're not betas, and we're not. It's not cool to dress as a woman or dress your boy as a female character for a cosplay or Comic Con, whatever. It was still cosplay. I mean, that boy should have been dressed as Han Solo or something. We need more male role models out there. You know, and just not family males, because not all of us have families, but we need to be role models for the younger teens and younger adults that look up to us. You know, they see us doing work, building things, or building fires and inviting friends over, and talking about issues like this in front of the fire. They'll start changing, seeing, hey, this is cool. It's a good way to interact, get to know people, but at the same time, we're talking about real issues. We're teaching you that it's okay to talk about these things. You know, as far as when it comes to how to raise children, I can tell you, I haven't experienced that yet in my life. I only know from what I've been around, people I stayed with, or how I was raised, or how I see my brother raising his kids, how my best friend raises his. And it's important. And my brother takes time out to make sure his son's in Boy Scouts, learning things, doing things. My brother doesn't, when it comes to being out in the garage, not so much. Going fishing and camping, stuff like that, just finding a new love for it. And he's passing that on to his kid, his two boys, teaching them how to throw a ball, play sports. You know, and when I'm around, when I'm over there to work on his car, or any construction that might need done, they watch me. I let them help, teach them. This is how this works. This is how you use it. You know, it's not on me to teach his kids. First and foremost, not on me to teach anybody's kids. It'd be on me to teach my own when I have them. But it's also on me to realize that I am a older male figure to them. In a sense, I will be a role model to them. You know, one thing I've learned and I appreciated with the time I got to spend with my best friend in North Carolina when I was down there helping them set up their place was the respect that I had for the way he raised his two kids. You know, quickly learned, hey, gotta put a filter on that mouth. You know, can't say things because they'll repeat it. It was a good experience. You know, and you felt bad when you slipped and said something. You know, the first thing you instantly do look like, oh, crap. Hope they don't repeat it. It's, you know what? It was a teaching experience. It was a great experience. You know, probably one day prepares me for what I might have coming my way. Maybe. No, we got to make America great again. We need to make men great again. We need to discuss issues that's going to build up men, start showing that these betas that you need, that being a beta is, one, frowned upon. Women don't find it attractive at all. Because, we live in a day and age where we'll start looking at this little refugee problem we got. What are they doing? They're taking on multiple wives. They're teaching their men to be soldiers, fighters. And most of these betas we got floating around here can't even fight a lick. A loud voice will make them cower. You don't even have to raise a ball fist. And that's sad. One man can back another man down by his voice. There's a problem. Some people don't want their kids learning martial arts. Well, let me tell you something. I learned martial arts. And it's not a violent idea of violence, as everybody keeps trying to portray. It's actually a good form of discipline. It teaches you discipline. It teaches you that, wow, I could really hurt somebody. I don't want to fight. In fact, I want to try to avoid a fight at all costs, especially in some states like here in Ohio. Once you get past a certain degree, oh yeah, you got to register your hands and feet because they're considered weapons. Just like, you guys know I smoke pipe. I smoked cigarettes before I went to switched over to the pipe. That was something else we didn't do. We would not smoke around the kids. We had a room designated for it, or it's go outside and smoke. Which was getting around them, kind of the reason why, other than health issues as well, realizing how bad it is for me coming to a win, which is when I started working out again and getting back into some of the martial arts that I used to be in. I quickly realized that all these years I've smoked did a number on me. I'm not on the e-vape thing because there's been a few things floating around the past couple days about low sperm counts. We don't know what's in the chemicals in those e-vapes. One, I hit the e-vape and it makes me want to puke. And that's always been my warning mechanism that it's not healthy for you. And I listen to it. Yeah, I still have my e-vape for break glass in case of emergencies, but it's also a break glass in case when I'm really finally ready to quit, I'll just pick that, grab that. Because it's something that makes me sick. I don't want nothing to do with it. It's a trigger. It's a trigger that allows me to stop things. I guess the real question is how do we start teaching people the values, the morals? How to be men? Well, it starts out with the simple things. It's okay to be an IT. It's okay to be a banker, a lawyer, and not working these hard physical labor jobs. But you need the strength. You need the stamina. You need to be able to support yourself and your family, but you also need to be able to protect your community, your family, and yourself. You need to know how to work on your vehicles. You need to know how to fix things when they break in your house. And you start teaching these things, showing people how to, your young boys or teenagers, how to do these things. They may not be interested in some of this stuff. There was few things I wasn't interested in. But they have that knowledge. And you explain to them why it's important to have this. Because there might come a time where your community might need help. A tornado might come through your town. You're going to need to know how to use chainsaws. You're going to need to know how to help fix your houses, rebuild. When you start teaching those things, yeah, I'm a little country. I grew up in the country. I can't stand big cities or towns. I prefer to be out in the country or up in the mountains. So, I grew up working on farms, horse ranches, baling hay in the summer, baling straw. I was the one idiot that, thought, oh yeah, I'll be I'll do the loft. It'll be a lot easier chucking those bales on the back of the tractor out. So what you didn't realize, by the end of the day, I had lost 15 pounds because the loft is the biggest trick of them all when you're up there. Because you got to salt every line of hay you lay, and it's almost 20 degrees hotter up in the loft than it is on that wagon in the sun. You end up doing 10 times more of the work. But those are the things, that taught me. Yes, I was young, dumb, and stupid too. I did a lot of stuff that I shouldn't have. It wasn't because of the role models in my life. Believe me, my parents did not spare the rod. And that's probably another problem. And I want to bet there's many of you out there that have the same thoughts I did. Well, I ain't going to do that to my kids. Now that I'm older, now that I look back at it, I kind of wish they would have used the rod a little bit more. Maybe I made some choices that I made. We always say we're not going to be like our parents. And a lot of people do that. And now we're dealing with betas. We're dealing with men that thinks it's okay to dress as women or want to have sex changes. Not cool. We got our military wanting to spend millions of dollars for transgenders to have a sexual operation to be female. No, not cool. Shouldn't even. No. I'm all for women in the military. I'm all for the equal opportunities where they can hold their own. The bottom line when it comes to stuff like that, you can't change your DNA. Your DNA will always depict who and what you are, male or female. You can have all the operations you want. You can't change your DNA. Some people sit here to argue it's psychological, it's mental. Maybe it is. Or maybe it's that we live in a day and age where we just say it's okay. We encourage it. Or maybe it's because we don't teach our male children to be men, to be boys. It's cool to be masculine. If you're brought up right, raised right, you know how to respect a woman, you're not a sexist. You're not an abuser, unless you're actually abusing them. That's a different story. Because then you are that and a few other things. Maybe sometimes we go a little too far with the equality thing. Yeah, I'm not blaming a lot. I don't want you guys to get it wrong. I'm not blaming the parents. I'm not blaming role models for these things, I also realize there's an issue with states trying to take control of our children instead of let the parents control their children. Laws are passed that basically you can't even scold your child anymore. I understand those things. Those are the things that we need to change. These are the things we need to talk about and address. I'm sure I can hope. I know what some of the emails are going to be here after this video. You know what? If you haven't figured it out by now, keep sending them. They don't bother me. I don't care what you think. One, you haven't walked the day in my shoes. Two, you're part of the problem. You're judging me by the way I look or the way I talk. Nothing wrong, and I realize it. You're polite enough about it. And you explain to me where I'm wrong, I will correct myself. Like I said, I am a man. I'm alpha. I may be an alpha. I am an alpha. There's no million about that part. I'm not scared to admit when I'm wrong either, or when I made a mistake in the judgment. I bet a few people make a mistake thinking my views on certain things or how I treat women that I'm a beta. No, I respect women. I listen to women. I listen to their views. And I treat them as I would treat my friends. And if it happens to be somebody I'm with, I treat them a lot better than I treat my friends. Because let's talk about little relationship things. Why so many relationships fail? Lack of communication. I should be able to talk anything with my partner. When I say partner, I mean woman. It's sad we got to clarify these things these days. That's the other issue. I want to be able to talk about anything, and I want her to be able to talk about anything with me. That builds the foundation of our relationship, that builds our trust. No matter what the subject may be. Know where we disagree on things. We're going to fight. Every relationship has their fights. We're going to have our arguments. They make for some interesting times. One thing I will never do is raise my hand to a woman. I'm the one type that'll walk out the door and come back with, I'm cool, dog. Of course, as women I date, you probably wouldn't want to raise your hand to because they're just as handy with a knife or a firearm and can usually fight. These are also things that when you have kids, I know I'm discussing that part because I don't have them. I can explain it from the things I do watching my parents and watching my brothers raise his kids and watching my best friend raise his two daughters. They watch, they learn, they pick up on the things. Remember I was talking about how, once I don't mind it, he would say, might not admit it. It's okay to admit it. But, oh, we're not gonna be like our parents. Why do we say that? Yes, that's how much we watch our parents. They are our biggest role models in life. But we also have to realize when they turn 18, they're adults. They're going to make their choices. Sometimes I'm going to disagree with them. But as parents, we must just we might not, we might really not agree with them. We should really support them. Why? Because that's what good parents do. I was lucky. I grew up with a lot of role models, good role models in my life, good, strong men. And I know a lot of my friends did it. They were single parents, raised by single parents. But I tell you what, they turned out okay. They're, especially the males, they're masculine. They might want a little bit follow some of the darker roads I followed to get there. And some became really good people, professional ball players, baseball players. A couple became professional football players. A couple were doctors, RNs, nurses, lawyers. They turned out all right. And they're still out there. A couple of them, to this day, I won't pick a fight with. You know, the old saying, boys will be boys. We need to let our boys be boys. Let them play with cap guns, wrestle, tussle in the yard. We need to teach our boys to stand up for themselves, defend themselves. That's part of being a man. That's part of being a pillar of your community. Somebody the community will look for you in times of troubles and needs. We also need to teach our boys that you're going to go through crucibles in life. Some might not be as major as some of ours, but you are going to go through those times. Some people call it trials and tribulations. You're going to go through those things. You need to be strong. But you guys also realize you got to be able to express your emotions as well. Because bottling them up don't work. Trust me, bottling them up, eventually they're going to explode. Sometimes when they come out, explode, the consequences you'll pay for the rest of your life. You'll have to live with them. You need to teach our boys and teens about making choices, the repercussions of choices. I don't want to see anyone repeat the mistakes I made. If I can be a better role model now, show them, hey, there's ways you can do things, and you got to be responsible. We need to start teaching them to take responsibility for their choices. Don't blame it on you're going to do dope, you're going to use weed, you're going to party. Don't blame it on the partying. Don't blame it on the smoking. Because in the end, you made a choice to do that. With those choices come consequences. You can't blame it on the addiction because you chose to make that addiction. You chose to take that. So therefore, anything that happens after that, you're responsible for those repercussions. That's also part of being a man, owning up to those things, not making excuses. You know, in a sense, yes, I made a bunch of bad choices over my life. I still came out a better man. Unfortunately, I had to take the long way around and pay some heavy prices. I don't want to see that for anyone. Because even To this day, you're going to be judged for the mistakes you made. No matter how much you change. A lot of people can't see, especially if you're from small towns, small areas. They'll remember the mistakes you made, not the good you've done. But the people around you that see who you are today, that's the only thing they see. They say, well, he's a hardworking man. He'll stop and help his elderly build their porch or whatever they need. He's not scared to get his hands dirty. He's not scared to be a pillar of the community. They don't know your past, the things you've done. They know the person that's in front of you. You should be striving to be the best man, best athlete you can be, not just for yourself, but for those that look up to you, your future wife, or your next girlfriend, that will look to you as you get older, to instill these very same values and ideas into the next generation. Well, I rambled on here for almost an hour. Like I said, this will be a weekly series. I'll figure out a good day to do it. I'm going to try to get other people on. So it's just not my views, my opinions, it's others. Start talking about other topics. I was jumping around from topic to topic tonight, which I like doing anyway. I'm a writer. I write poetry too, so I'm an artist. I'm a bunch of things. I'm a jack of all trades. That's another good thing, guys. Learn more than one skill. Don't have to master it. You just gotta know it. If you know it, you start building more value. There's more things you can do, the more things you can offer your community, the more things you can fall back onto when times get hard. You know, I write because it's a form of expression, a way for me to relieve emotions and stuff. I haven't written it forever, but I've been thinking about writing a few prose and poetry, and I prefer the free verse. I like coming on here just flowing from subject to subject. It's easy, it comes natural. And I usually find a way to stay on topic. But I get, and it's like I said, for those women out there, you're welcome on here as well because you know what? You can tell these young men what you look for in men. Sometimes we all know sex drives of teenagers, and then when they hear it from a woman talking about what they want from a man, what they look for in a man, that will motivate them to be those things. And that's been kind of, I support the feminist movement, equality, and all that, but you've also caused a little issues with making men more beta, calling them sexist when they're too masculine, too alpha. And sometimes, some of those egotistical ones, yeah, they need brought down a few pages. I agree there in certain aspects, but not every man is a sexist bigot. They're men. So be it. As my dad used to say, and grandfather used to say, and many other fathers say, there's plenty, you're swimming in a, you're just a lonely little tadpole in a giant fishbowl. There's plenty of fishes in the sea. This is about men being men, being our defenders of this nation. That's the important part you got to realize. There's a reason why they're stripping you. They don't want men to be men because if men are men, it makes it harder to come in here and divide us, separate us. If they ever want to invade this country, they know they have to go through the men. I hate to say it. I don't hate to say it. I'd love to say it, actually. Just not our men. Because remember what I said in the beginning of the video? Every great man had a great woman by his side. Our women are just as strong. That's why this country has never been invaded. We are the pillars of our communities. We are pillars of our family. We need to break this notion that we're not equals. We're equal. We can't live without the other. If you start falling in the idea that we can, that, oh, I don't need a woman, then we start having issues to where a population declines, we're easily overridden. And I'm not promoting having kids and not being married, where anybody jumps to that subject. But like I said, I'm going to end this stream. You guys let me know what you think of this. Let me know some ideas you want me to talk about. Like I said, I'm going to work on getting a few people involved in this as well. I said, if you guys want to take part, let me know here on Facebook, Twitter, PM me or direct message me. Here on Facebook, you go to my channel, main page, and actually contact me via email. I don't think I got my email in the description, but I got my Twitter account and direct message me there. I work around your schedules, guys. If you want to be a part of this, take part of this. Let's make it happen. Let me know. So, you can always start participating in chat as well while I'm doing live. For those that we gotta work around or you just don't feel comfortable being weird live. Like I said, I've got plenty of the software to do any type of live stream or recorded stream. There's a message that needs to be discussed, and that's make men great again. So let's make men great again. For all those men that are great, let's use this as common ground to start talking about these issues. We're working on making America great again. Now it's time we step up, take our stands, and start teaching these young men, young teenagers, and young boys what it means to be a man, what it means to be a respectable man, a role model. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you in the next video.